space that is warm and welcoming, the only way a true home can feel like. And we do many things to achieve this in our personal spaces, but I think one thing that many people overlook is the lighting, because when we enter a room, we're initially drawn to things that are tangible, things that we can literally see, like a chair, a table, a painting. And we kind of take for granted that it's the lighting that kind of paints it all together. So today we're going to learn that using correct lighting in your space, in your rooms, your houses, not only is healthier for you, and it brightens up a room, but it's easier on the pocket as well. We're going to touch on things like task lighting and accent lighting, aesthetic lighting, all that good stuff. We have with us today lighting expert ORBIK to help us achieve that. We also have with us celebrated architect Mr. Conrad Onglao, and we have a renowned interior designer, Ms. Cindy Fernandez. They'll be sharing with you simple lighting solutions that you can apply in your own homes to achieve the look and feel that you want. But before we get to that, I have two gentlemen that have been excitedly waiting to welcome all of you. So please help me welcome the President of Rockford, Mr. Johnny Chan, and the Vice President, Mr. Benson Lim.
Well, we understand the LED is much in the market, but it's very important that the people will be educated the importance of the LED in lumen and the quality, not the price.
Talking about product, the first thing first, we must buy the right product at the right uses. Price is second. If you are only looking at price, sometimes you buy a cheap one, but it's useless for you. Few months you must change one. But we Rockford Marketing Corporation, for 40 years of experience in lighting product. If you in the electrical sector, if you heard about Rockford Marketing Corporation, that means we are selling quality product.
Sir Benson, it's interesting that you brought up Rockford Marketing Corporation, which I understand is the mother company of ORBIK, right? Can you tell us a little bit about like a brief history of how that happened?
Actually, Rockford is established in 1976.
So 40 years ago, as you said earlier.
Ago,
yes.
When we two is still wearing a black hair, waistline 28, but now you see we are white hair, waistline 42.
That means we are gaining.
Yes, we gaining weight, but actually, we've been in the electrical sector for the last 40 years. We are very well known in the electrical sector. If you're talking Rockford, they all know we are selling, because we are selling, the first is Japanese product, which is, before we are selling one of the biggest lamp manufacturing company in Japan, Nippon Electric Company, which is NEC Lighting. And we also become a distributor of Len National, now Panasonic water heater. At present, still we are a distributor. And the 90s coming, the German largest lamp manufacturer, Ostrom, we are also a sole distributor.
So why did you decide to come up with your own line of LED bulbs under the name of ORBIK? Sir Johnny, do you want to tell us
Well, I think we have to educate the people that locally brand is also good as a foreign brand. That's why we have created this ORBIK since 10 years ago to do a much better quality to sell at a better price in the market, as well as to introduce it to the architect, designer, the quality aspect of the LED that will help the eye of the future children. Because LED is very important to the eye of individual. If you use it mistake, then you feel sleepy, or your eye will have damage in the near future. Because LED is a component of a material that is not an artificial thing, it's a component. So it's a very important that this light don't go into your pupil. It will damage it. That's why it's very important that we have to introduce about the quality of the product.
Sir Benson, 40 years of experience, right? Rockford Marketing Corporation has given birth to ORBIK. What are you most proud of when it comes to ORBIK products?
Actually, if you're talking about ORBIK, we are proud ORBIK give you the exact lumen what you are buying. There are so many other brand in the market. The back saying the lumen, but actually maybe you cannot get the actual lumen because we don't have what we call something to
Measurement.
measure it. So for ORBIK, we usually use the low side of the testing. For example, 100 lamp testing, low side of 200 up to high side of 250. Some other brand use the high side, but we use the low side. In order for you to have a lumen what you want. If you say 200, maybe it go 200, 210, 220, you happy. Because on the 6 watt lamp, you get 220, rather than for a 5 watt lamp, you only get maybe 180.
Okay, so words like quality and
Quality.
value for money.
And value for
we also
money.
touched on health benefits. All of
Yes.
those things come to mind.
Yes.
First, tell us, like, what kind of architectural projects are you involved in right now?
Okay. We do mostly houses, resorts, and hotels. Right now, we're doing about 8 hotels for Ayala. The brand you know as Seda Hotel. We're also working on some of the 10 Knots hotels for Ayala. And the resorts. We did Pangalucian, El Nido, part of Balisin Resort, and we just renovated Lagin.
So all of these places that, you know, are absolutely gorgeous to look at. Lighting obviously has a lot to do with that
Yes.
as well. Can you tell us about, you know, your passion for lighting? Why do you think it's so important in creating a space?
It's I always believe lighting is a powerful tool. It can make or break any design space. It can make one person really emotional about the space. It's like a woman, like I told you earlier. It's just like you know, your makeup.
His reference is makeup talaga. Oo.
It's like,
Please elaborate. Yes, what about it?
well, you know, I was telling Sam earlier, it's just like a woman. If you want your lips to be noticed, you put more, I suppose you put more lipstick or a more colorful one. I look at lighting as such, like if you wanted to focus on one particular item, that's basically what you do. Or if you don't want to do anything, and like for instance, the space, if you look around you, you hardly notice anything, but I'm sure once you start focusing on the light, you will notice it more.
You're also really passionate about lighting the space efficiently. So lighting
Yes.
efficiency. Can you tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that?
A lot of the architects now and interior designer are more focusing on going green. A lot of the projects that we do, particularly with Ayala, we're always directed to only use LED lights. In my particular house, I did nothing but LED lights, and I'm so happy that this technology is around now. I used to kid with my fellow architects and said, you know, why did it take this technology so long? And right now, we're also happy this particular type of lighting is around.
I have LED lights installed in my place as well, and you know, speaking of efficiency, I think it's like, you know, a table lamp that I have,
Yes.
which I used to light with a regular bulb. When I switched it to LED, I was so surprised because I can actually touch it,
Yes.
like, you know, like 30 minutes, an hour after it's been on, and that's like an efficient angle of the LED,
Yes.
right?
No particular heat. I mean, like, I don't know, everybody can touch it, and you won't even burn your hand. It's
Exactly.
it's,
That was so shocking to me.
It particularly helps us in our power consumption. I don't know how many lights I have in my house, but I can assure you I don't pay a whole lot of money as far as my electric bill is concerned.
And in the summer, I think the last thing you want is more heat coming off of,
That's right.
you know, light bulbs in your house. Okay, let's talk about task lighting.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about like what task lighting is?
Well, task lighting is normally that type of light, the white light. It's normally for offices we use, or banks and commercial applications. You see a lot of the white lighting. The idea of that is it's supposed to make you be awake and focus on your work, as opposed to having warm white that makes you more relaxed.
Okay, but we do have some, like a couple of different more lightings here that we can talk about. Let me turn on this one. Ooh, okay, it's right by my face. Okay, which kind of lighting is this?
This is warm white.
Warm white.
Yes.
What is this for?
It is supposed to induce a more relaxed feeling. It gives you, as you can tell from looking at it, it gives you that very homey feel to it. So you see this type of lighting more on houses or even in hotels. That's what we normally use.
Okay, and last but not least, we have what lighting is that?
That's still a warm white, and it's supposed to be just accent lighting. I'm sure, I think Cindy is the one who's going to be talking more about it.
Okay, okay. So we touched on like the different hues of the lighting and what space in your house that would be appropriate for. Let's move on to how you can approach lighting, because there are two ways to go about that. I understand there are two ways to approach this. There will be traditional and non-traditional lighting. Can you explain to us a little bit what that's about?
Traditional lighting, as you remember, or some of us maybe more like my age, in the olden days, you would only have probably one bulb in the center of the house, and that's supposed to be your source of lighting. But nowadays, we have more lights, and the idea is for you to highlight or focus particular, say, decor in the house or in any given space. Like I think at the back here, without the light, for instance, it doesn't call your attention. Again, like I said, like a woman's makeup. Or lipstick. So once you turn on the light, then all of a sudden you notice more what's at the back of the wall.
So this is an example of non-traditional lighting.
Non-traditional lighting, exactly. Like for instance, like the artwork on the wall. There normally should be a light above that, just like what you have there. Again, it focuses on the artwork.
So it's like a highlight
It
for...
really highlights whatever decors you have in the house or any given space. The traditional lighting, like I said, there's only like one source or a couple of sources of light, but without focusing on any particular item.
Okay, so we are going to find out more about which particular ORBIK bulbs were used in lighting these different spaces. And to help us do that, we're going to call on our ORBIK expert. Please welcome Mr. Jefferson Chua. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Jeff.
For the products here, we use a T5 lamp, fluorescent lamp. You can also use a strip light. And to accent all the things in the wall, we use an MR16 spotlight LED.
See, Architect Conrad was telling us about the T5 light earlier.
Yes.
Can you come join us? Like, what is the advantage of the T5?
Well, the T5 is a smaller version of your conventional fluorescent light bulb. Because it's narrower in diameter, so you can easily accommodate that in tight spaces.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So yeah, we're just kind of touching on the different kinds of products that you can use to help light different spaces and all that stuff. Thank you so much, Jefferson. Architect Conrad Onglao, thank you very much. Yes, for taking us through traditional lighting, non-traditional lighting, task lighting. A big round of applause, please, for our experts. So, Architect Conrad and I were talking about lighting generally with installed lamps, right? But you're gonna talk about these mga freestanding lamps and how we can use, right? Okay, so but before we get to that, tell us about the kind of work that you do as an interior designer. What kind of projects do you take on?
Okay, so I do a lot of model units, and that involves already single detached units for the residences, and then some are for vertical developments, which are basically a lot of the condominium units. And we know that condominium units are very small and they're very space challenged.
Yeah.
So lighting really plays a lot of role, and that is also a make or break to give a good ambiance for the space.
And model units is, you have to present the best version of that space.
Right.
And also today, this is all, with a magic touch of Cindy here today. So yeah, this beautiful space is her. And ORBIK, of course. Okay, let's talk about lamps. How do we, beautify and light our space using lamps? Where do you want to start?
Right. For this one, it's mid-level and then one that is higher. So then you're not left with a completely middle ground that is all shadowed.
So why is that important to have like different like varieties when it comes to the height of the light
Right.
and whatnot?
Well, it creates a better mood. There's a play of shadows, so a lot of the mystery when you enter a room is still there. And then I guess another factor that is one of the things that are people mistaken to do is that the scale of the lamps have to be considered. Of course, the shade of the lamp shouldn't be bigger than the base table. That's a common mistake that I see in houses that I visit. Even the length of the console table should be considered. Others put two lamps on a stretch of console table that occupies 50% of the console table already. So you want that all considered and factored in.
Earlier, you were talking about something really interesting, even something as trivial as the opacity of the
Right,
shade of the
right.
lamp. Like, you want to keep that in mind because...
Correct. Well, of course, that touches already on what is the wattage of the bulb that needs to be used for a floor lamp or a table lamp. I guess number one is that it depends on the use of that lamp. Of course, if it's beside a bedside table, then you use that for reading. So that should be at least about 25 watts and equivalent to about 9 watts in LED.
Why don't you join us already, Jeff? Yeah, I'm going to bring back our expert here, Jeff. Yeah?
Yeah, and then
So you
for corners that you just sort of want to light up, then that you're good with say 10 to 15 watts, which is about 3 watts
Yeah,
in
correct.
LED, right? But however, you were mentioning earlier, what I
Yes.
wanted to point out is that sometimes people don't factor in the type of material of the shade. So we keep on buying lamps, right? And then you buy the bulb separately. And then you put it in and realize that the shade of the lamp is actually a blackout material.
So something like this would be blackout material.
Yes, which
Blackout
means to
of-
say the illumination of that is only top and bottom. As opposed to this one, let's turn it on again, which is translucent. So it really varies. You have to, I guess, test it out to be able to know what wattage really works for you.
Yeah, no, there's so
Yeah.
many factors pala that you have to consider.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking of areas in my home that, could use some improvement. Jeff is here with us. Jeff, can you take us through the different ORBIK bulbs that are used in these lamps that are in this area right now?
Most of the lamps used here are the incandescent type LED. And on the floor, I think those are candle bulb type.
Yeah, it's
It's
yung
shaped like a
hugis niya.
candle,
Okay,
But
okay.
it's using LED already.
Okay.
And here in front, you can see the filament type LED.
Oh, these are LED bulbs too?
Yeah,
Okay.
they look like a traditional incandescent bulb, but in actual, it's an LED.
Okay,
So,
so
it retains the
look,
the look, of
the
bulb,
feel, but with all the benefits of the
Yes.
LED bulb. All right, Cindy, thank you so much for sharing with us
you.
your
Thank
expertise.
you.
Please give Cindy a round of applause, everybody. Can you tell us a little bit about ORBIK bulbs? What do you think makes them different?
This is the one thing that sets ORBIK apart from other brands.
Is there maybe like a general rule of thumb that we can follow when we're choosing light bulbs for different spaces?
The general rule of thumb is it all depends on the application that you want.
Oh, isa-isahin na lang natin. Okay, what do we have here?
3 watt.
3 watts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it has a brightness of about 300 lumens.
Ano ba yung lumens? Jargon na. What is lumen?
It's the measurement of the brightness of the lamp.
Okay. So this is 3 watt,
300 lumens.
300 lumens. This would be appropriate for what kind of space?
Small spaces like bathroom, hallways, or walk-in closets.
Oh, if you have a walk-in closet, how fun. Okay. All right, let's move on to this one over here.
Oh, these are the 6-watt LED, approximately around 400 to 450 lumens.
And good for what kind of
Good
space?
for dining area, small bedrooms. You can also use it in a sala.
Okay, so again, depending on the
Depending on
the
the space,
size of
yeah.
the space. Okay, so this is the 6-watt, and then over here we have
These are the widely used 9-watt LED. They're usually used in bedrooms,
living room.
living rooms,
Okay. Big bedrooms,
Yeah, big
kitchen.
bedrooms. Kitchen, yeah, yeah.
I like my kitchen well lit, so maybe 9 watts is a good. It's a good
It's an
bulb.
in-between light.
Okay, all right. And then last but not least, this is
We have the 12 watts, so it's about, I think you're used to using a 100 watts incandescent bulb, so this is the direct replacement for that. So you can use it for bigger space, like with high ceiling areas, parking lights.
garage, the mga
Garage,
garage, ganyan. Okay, and they last for a really, really long time, LED bulbs.
Yes,
Yeah.
from 30,000 to 50,000 hours. Oh, this is the MR16 LED spotlight, used for wall washing and to accent products.
Okay, next one. Is this what I see over here?
Yeah, that's the LED filament lamp.
Okay, all right. And okay, these are bulbs that we saw in the lamps. And this one is also
A smaller version of the filament LED.
all right. Now this doesn't really look like a bulb. What is this?
This is a Bluetooth light with a speaker.
Wait, so you use it to light your space, and then it has a built-in speaker
Speaker,
that's
yeah.
Bluetooth,
Yep, you can play your music here
which is why it comes with a remote.
for the volume.
And this dims your light as well,
yeah,
I
correct.
hear. Wow, okay, that is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a starter kit that you're all gonna bring home with you today. Each one of you, yes, will be taking home a box of ORBIK bulbs. Fantastic, thank you so much. Please
Thank you.
give Jeff a big round of applause, our ORBIK expert. And I hope you can share with us how ORBIK Light improves your lighting at home as well on social media with the hashtag orbiklightexperts. ORBIK is also on Facebook and Instagram. Their Instagram handle is at orbiklightexpert. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the day, and I hope it has been an enlightening day for all of you. Thank you.